Previously on the Prayin and Slayin Podcast.
The dog goes, and in the living room, he starts showing change. In the middle of the floor in the living room was this big fish tank. But when I say throwing change, it means he's smelling something. His change of behavior changed. He's trying to find it. Mm-hmm. He's sniffing up high, going all around. Man, I don't know where he's hitting at here. He gets around behind the fish tank where the filter is, and he sits. So I'm looking at it, I was like, what? I mean, it's a full fish tank full of fish, water everywhere. I was like, what?
Yeah.
So I back up. I go back out the door, bring him back in the house. I cut him off leash, let him run around. He runs right back over. He's sniffing, and you could hear him. And you hear him blow out, and he sits. I was like, So
he knows he's found it.
Oh, yeah. So we have these guys, MPI, Military Police Investigations. They're kind of like the FBI of the MPs. They're all plain clothes. They come in, they start searching. I was like, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and search the rest of the house. Now this is where it made me very angry. You know, I can't show emotion. I can't take my aggression out on anybody. I just got to deal with it, right?
Yeah.
I go in this bedroom. It's a kid's room. I go in and search, and the dog responds on a crib. We lift the mattress up, and there's probably 2 pounds of weed under the mattress.
Welcome back to the Prayin and Slayin Podcast, everybody. This is part 2 of Operation Hunt Goalpost with U.S. Army veteran Justin Wilson. Let's jump back in where we left off with a drug dog story from his time as an MP in the Army, and then we're going to get into the story of Goalpost. Let's get to it. Under the kid's mattress.
Yeah, made me sick. I'm like, why would you do this?
Right, like you said, he thought he was smart. Yeah,
he did, and when they searched the fish tank, they ended up draining the whole tank. Took all the fish out, put them in little bowls in the kitchen on the cab or on the bar, and then they moved the rocks back. He had little baggies of weed wrapped in cellophane and then duct taped around them and put them down at the bottom of the fish tank or the rocks. So I was like, wow, man, this guy was a piece of work.
Yeah.
Well, let's just say he didn't last. He didn't last another couple of weeks, and they had him arrested. He was in jail.
I imagine. I'm sure he was, with that kind of stash going on, I'm sure he was dealing it around the base or wherever. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty crazy, man. Yeah, I was just the last Operation Hunt guest we had on, Taylor Philpott. He was talking to us about what he did a little bit of time with OSI, and they ended up taking down like a spice ring that was in a military only 22 member level drug dealing ring for spice. And I was like, I just never, and now see, this is 2 in a row. I've heard about drugs are there and people go out and do them and stuff, but I've never seen it where the dealers are inside. Usually it's like someone in town that one guy knows that then they're telling other people that want to go do the crap. Like it's all off base, but this is like internal. That's crazy.
Oh yeah. It's people don't realize the crimes that are committed on military bases. We actually, at Fort Knox too, where our kennels were located, right down from our kennels was the, I call it the military jail. It was just, they were doing what I call soft time. They were only doing like a couple of years. Right behind that was a housing area. Well, one day we get a knock at the door at the kennels, and there's a guy in plain clothes. He's got a badge and he's got a piece of paper in his hand. He's like, hey, we were told by the MP station to come up here and get one of your guys to go down here and serve a warrant at this house. Excuse me. This guy's a master sergeant in the Army, so he's an E8. His son was wanted for attempted murder.
No kidding.
He had shot at a couple civilians driving by, shot at him and stuff. So we went down to serve the warrant. I anchored up at the back door, and as they're knocking on the front door, he comes running out. I started yelling. I was like, halt, 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 release my dog. He stopped for a second, looked back, and started to take off. I was like, go ahead. I have my hand on the leash. I'm like, I'll click it off. I don't care. You ain't getting over the fence before he gets you, so go ahead. He stopped and gave himself up. But it's like, people don't realize, man, the kind of crimes that people commit on military bases, I don't know if it's stupidity or they think they'll just get away with it.
Yeah, that's nuts, man. That's why I was on the one with Taylor, tell a lot of people this. So the military is just a subset of your standard population. It's just a smaller little subgroup of it, So that's nuts. That's nuts. Well, cool, man. Well, let's maybe get into a little bit lighter subject here as far as deer hunting stories. So you smashed a big 6-point this year, but first we got to know, I guess, has hunting always been something you were into? Was it something you got into after the military? Tell us about that.
Man, I've always hunted. I mean, if it wasn't deer, it was, squirrels, rabbits, stuff like that. I grew up hunting. I didn't I didn't take full advantage of it when I was in to hunt as much because I mean I was deployed in TDY a lot. I've got 7 deployments under my belt. I've got I don't know how many TDYs under my belt. So that's a lot of time to miss from hunting. I really started picking it back up when I got to Kansas. I really started hunting a lot then. So I hunted Leavenworth a lot. I killed 2 nice bucks there. I mean, there's one of them right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll walk over and show you this was my biggest buck until this year. This was the one I was proud of this one because I'd been TDY for a month. I came back and my whole hunt area blew up. I had rubs and scrapes everywhere. I was like, what's going on? And I got this guy one morning. So
big old 8.
Yeah, that was my baby right there. That was my biggest till I got the one this year. But it's like, I hunted the rest of my career for the last, well, from 2010 to 16, I hunted every year. But I still didn't get to hunt as much as I do now. I mean, being retired, I hunt every chance I get. I've got 2 of my boys into it now. They love it. Actually, they're so excited now. All 3 of my boys have jobs working at the local chicken house. Man, they make $15 an hour doing it. They love it.
Yeah.
One of my boys went and bought his own shotgun. He bought his own 20 gauge pump to use for turkey season this year. I took him last year, but me being the bonehead I am, forgot the decoys in the truck. We had, it's kind of funny. I sent you that video of the buck this morning. I was cleaning stuff out of my phone because I know I'm like every other hunter. We're always taking pictures and videos in the woods every season. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm getting so much stuff backed up. I don't have a lot of space left. So I thought, well, I'll delete some stuff I don't need. And I came across a video of my son last year during youth season, during turkey season. Wow. At one point, we had 4 toms around us. Now, me or you could have made the shot, but him being a lot shorter, he couldn't see where we were at. We're on the gas line over here. The gas line had like a little ridge cap in the middle of the hill, so he couldn't see the turkey. I could see him perfect. He couldn't. So he never got a shot.
Oh, man.
Now, me being his dad, if I'd have brought the decoys, he'd have had his first tom.
Yeah.
But I mean, hunting's a big part of our family. I mean, we eat what we kill. Nothing goes to waste. We eat it. I've even started now. This is something I was going to talk to you about offline, but I'll talk about it here now.
Yeah.
I have gotten to the point now where me and Craig, Craig from Tacticam.
Yep.
Me and him have started hunting, and I've been talking to a lot of farmers around here and getting permission to hunt theirs. I've started donating the meat. I've got a couple families here in the area that always need meat, so I donate to them. I donate to the local food pantry. Just anybody that needs meat, they know, hey, I hunt every year. Whatever I don't keep for the family, I donate. So if you need meat, let me know. It's kind of my way of giving back. I don't.
Great way to do it too.
Well, yeah, and it's one of those things, man. Hunters get a bad name sometimes. That we're kill happy. And that's all we want to do is kill. Hunting to me is not about the kill. It's not. I got buddies of mine. I don't know why. I don't know why you hunt. I don't know what your big drive is. Mine's different than a lot of guys. I've got friends of mine that are vets. I've got civilian friends of mine too that hunt, and not all of them. Let me rephrase that. Some of them. The most rewarding part of hunting for them is the chase. They like getting a deer on camera, and that's the only deer they're going to go after, and it's the chase. For me, it's not. Yes, I use cameras. I do food plots and stuff. I hang stands. I move stands, all that good stuff. But for me, the most rewarding part is getting up that morning before everybody in the house is up. I'm the only one up. I get dressed. I spray down, do all that good stuff. I get in the stand 2 hours before daylight. The most rewarding part for me is watching the woods come alive.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing like it in the world. There's nothing like it. You lived in Montana. You know how beautiful it is.
Yeah.
You get out there in the mountains. You hear an elk bugle right at daybreak. There's nothing like it in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the most rewarding part of it is I am still 6 feet above ground, and I get to go do this every day if I want to.
Yeah.
You can't beat that. You can't. No. There's nothing like it in the world to do to experience that.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome, man. No, that's it is nice. And like even just you kind of forget about it, especially when you're caught up in all the hustle and bustle, or working from home or whatever. But then when you do get time to get out there and spend in the woods, and I try to now having the kiddo home full time, like we try to get out there at least once a week if we can, usually more, but just go wander around in the woods. Number one, I want him to go wander and explore and smack trees with sticks or whatever he decides he wants to do while he's out there. But like, it's like I find myself more now. It's like, and probably because we've done it more in the last couple of months than we've really gotten a chance to in a long time. But yeah, there's just a piece that's out there that's just way different than anything else. And then, like you said, in the morning, and I haven't been out. I got out a couple of times this year. I actually had a chance this fall for the first time, I couldn't even tell you the last time, to get out there before daylight. And it's just different, man. You're just like, there's something that just like looks forward to it. And I remember when I was younger, it was like I'd take naps in the tree stand. Once you get up there, like, okay, cool, I can kind of take a break now. And you kind of fall asleep and you wake up and you're like, oh, I don't know what time it is, but it's daylight. But now it's just like the last thing I want to do is go to sleep because you want to see it. You just want to be the part of that experience. That's cool. I love that. That's your favorite part.
It's relaxing, man. I mean, you just said it, the hustle and bustle of everyday life. It doesn't matter what job you're in, what career field you're in, whatever. There's always going to be that hustle and bustle. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I don't want to spend the rest of my life doing the normal rat race. I want to enjoy life a little bit. I don't think I'm special by any means. I'm not. I joined the military on my own will. Well, special in certain ways, yes. I'll give you that.
I told you, people, there's going to be a few shots fired in here.
Oh, yeah, it's not over. I mean, White Claw will come out pretty soon. Air Force will come out pretty soon. It's all coming out. Don't worry. We'll get to that. But it's like, I want to be able to enjoy life. I want to be able to slow down and just enjoy it. And what I was going to tell you, man, is when you and your wife finally settle down with your son and you buy a piece of ground, it'll mean so much more to you. It will mean so much more to you getting him out in the woods. You're hunting deer that you're seeing on camera. You're out hiking, you're out mushroom hunting, deer hunting, turkey hunting. That's what made it so special for me because I've killed 3 deer on our property so far. We've owned it since 2021. I've killed 3 deer. I've killed 2 bucks and a doe. And this buck, by far my biggest, but it means more because I killed it on my ground. I killed him in my food plot that I put out, that I put all the time and sweat and energy into. I hung that stand for that area, for that food plot, for the acorns in the area, whatever. It just means so much more. So when you guys finally do get wherever you're going to go and settle and you get your own piece, it'll mean so much more than just going out here on public ground.
You bet, man. That's awesome. And yeah, the public thing is cool. You kind of get to explore stuff, but yeah, definitely a different ballgame for sure. Well, tell us a little about that too, because I mean, that's all part of the goalpost story here. Is you've got the video you sent me today. You said it was from 2023, so the story starts in 2023. You got him this year, so I guess walk us through it. How'd you set up your property? What changes did you make? What drew him there? All the stuff.
So my hunt with him was a little different. I didn't have him on camera. So like I said, we bought the place. We bought it in 2020. We didn't move in until January 2021. And we moved in. As soon as we moved in, just like any hunter does, man, I hit the woods. I mean, it's January and I'm out. Indiana doesn't get a lot of snow anymore. We do some. I mean, it's snowing a little bit today, but it ain't going to amount to anything here.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of snow on the ground. I hit the woods. I'm throwing up cameras. I've got cell cams over the place. I've got regular trail cameras up everywhere. I never saw him on camera. I didn't see him in 2021, didn't see him in 2022, none. I had some big deer here. Now, they don't live on my property. I only have 30 acres. I don't have a lot. But my land is a travel corridor between all the crop fields around us. I've got crop fields to my east, crop fields to the west, crop fields to the north, crop fields to the south. Now, mind you, I'm competing with 385 acres to my south. There's 9 guys at least at ground. So we first bought the property. I went in. I had a little flat area at the bottom of the property. I went in, cleared it, and put a food plot. My land is hard to hunt. The best spots are in the middle of the property, but it's hard to get to them because every which way you come in, you bump deer bedding. So it's hard to get to it. So I normally don't hunt the center of the property until gun season. So I hunt the outside fringes and areas like that. Now I do have a few doe that do bed on my place quite often. Not all the time, but quite often they're here. So Marathon gas line runs through my whole property. I talk to Marathon because everybody lives out here that Marathon runs through. We have a liaison we get to talk to. I talked to him. I want to make sure it was okay that I put a food plot on the gas line. He's like, yeah, go ahead. We don't care. And actually, he's like, we partnered with Pheasants Forever and Quails Forever and made our own seed blend. I was like, really? So he brought me 4 bags of seed out. Now they have a clover and they have another bag is all brassicas. Their clover grew amazing. It's the best clover I've ever put out. So I called him again this year and I was like, hey, I want some more of that. So he told me they delivered it to the house. I was looking on the front porch and see it. It was behind the mailbox. Our mailbox all the way down at the end of the driveway. It's a big, huge, like 5-pound bag. A 5-pound bag, they still do like 4 or 5 acres. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm doing more food plots this year.
Yeah.
But I didn't know this deer existed. I'd never seen him. So I hunted all of 2021, never saw him. I shot a small buck then. This is where I learned a very valuable lesson too. I feel like it doesn't matter how old you are, you can always learn stuff hunting. And I learned that year. Always carry your binos. Always. Okay. I had my eye on a buck. Now, this shows how I'm a very slow learner. I had this buck. He was a big 9-point. He's 6 yards in front of me, has no idea I'm in the tree, making a scrape in my food plot. I didn't shoot him. No, he's not big enough for me. I showed a couple of hunting buddies of mine. Huh?
The 9-point?
Yes.
Wasn't big enough? Okay.
Wasn't big enough. I showed the video to a couple of hunting buddies of mine. They told me I was crazy. You're stupid. That's a shooter. You should have shot him.
I don't even have to see him when I'm telling you you're crazy. If he's got 9 points on his head, slam him.
Well, and he was so big, his antlers come out of his head and swoop around. They almost touch in the front.
Holy cow.
His G2s are probably 12, 13 inches. So from that day on, I was like, okay, I'm going to shoot this deer. Never saw him again. Opening day of gun season that evening, me being a dummy, I take my 6.5 down here because you can use high power rifles in Indiana on private ground. Well, I got a spot down here at the bottom. It's pretty open. You could reach out 80 to 100 yards. So I took my 6.5. Should have took my muzzleloader. I'm sitting there and I see a buck go across the ridge across from me. It was on the neighbor's property. So I hit the horns a little bit and grunt. He turns and comes down the hill. It's that 9-point. So, man, I stand up my climber, grab my 6.5, come up. I'm trying to follow him across the ridge. He gets down a creek bed and disappears. I don't see him, don't hear him. I was like, okay, where'd he go? So I hit the horns together again and grunt one more time. This buck comes out 85 yards, comes up out of the creek bank. He's standing down here. I pull up, shoot, drop him. I call my wife. She's like, I thought I heard you shoot. I was like, yeah, it was me. She says, did you get him? I said, yeah, I got that big 9. She said, I'm on my way. So she drives down the road, parks on the gas line, walks back that logging road to me. I walk up to him. I was like, where's my buck? That's not him. That's not the buck I shot. Yeah, little basket 8-point that his rack looked the same. It curved around, almost touching the front. Wasn't the one I wanted.
So the 9 dropped in that creek and went after him.
Well, that 9-point actually, right as I'm looking at my deer, I hear another gunshot further over. A buddy of mine from Indy, his son was down here hunting. He shot him over on the gas line.
Oh, no way.
Probably about 300 yards from me, shot him. And I was like,
wow.
Figures.
Okay.
Yeah. So, pro tip, always carry your binos.
Double check. Well, you had always. Your 6.5. You were convinced it was that deer, so you just pulled up, went right for the chest and pulled. You didn't even take a second to look into the scope.
Shoulder and pull the trigger. That's it.
Well, I mean, I guess I got to ask, how would I definitely understand the bino thing. And it's crazy. Even things like you might not think you need them because things are, kind of tight. 50, 60 yards might be the furthest thing you can see. And you're like, my eyeballs will tell me everything I need to know. It's crazy how many little detail things you'll find way closer to you. I learned it more in Montana, just being able to pick apart detail versus shapes and colors and things like that you would just think would normally stand out is amazing. Finding a mule deer in a sage patch, it's not hard when they're standing up and their butts facing you, but when they're laying down, there could be 100 of them there. You have no clue because they blend into everything and they don't have to be that far away. They disappear. And then you get, you're talking Indiana or Maryland here, the big woods, all that thick cover, all those little details, you might find a nose that you couldn't see, just whatever. So that is important, but I guess in your situation, would you have, if you would have had your binos on you, would you have normally pulled up looked and then pulled the gun up, or?
Yes.
Okay.
I would have pulled up. I would have checked the deer out. And I'll tell you, it saved me this past season in Illinois. We were, me and Craig were over hunting a buddy of mine's farm, and I'm sitting there, and Craig had just shot a buck not 50 yards in front of us, dropped in the field, and another buck comes running out down the fence line next to us to my left, and I pulled up, and as soon as I pulled up, I was like, nope. I dropped my gun, grabbed my binos, and started looking. I was like, nope. Glad I looked through this time. Just a little basket eight. I was like, nope. But he was on a dead run. He was on a dead run close to us. Yep, that's definitely a deer. Yep, he's a shooter. I mean, big body on him, real big body. I thought, yep. And then something clicked. Nope, check your binos first, dummy. So I pulled up and looked. I was like, nope, let him go. So,
well, you learned.
It saved me.
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. So then that was, what year was that? That was 2022, you said?
That was 2021. And then 22, I shot a doe on our property on my birthday. I never killed deer on my birthday, so I shot a doe here. I ended up 22 was a good year for me. I killed 6 deer that year total. Between here, Missouri, and Illinois, I brought home 6. I donated 3 of them. I donated 3 deer that year to help out 2 families. Mm-hmm. And then 23, I didn't kill a single deer. I didn't kill anything. I passed so many deer that year. 2023 was probably the only year I've had that many deer in front of me. I didn't shoot a single, because I won't shoot a doe in our place. That 22 was the only year I did that, just because it was on my birthday. Mm-hmm. I had one of my neighbors is Amish. He kills 6 deer a year. And, with all of us out here, everybody in this whole neighborhood, we're all hunting the same deer. We're all hunting the same deer. So it's not like they're just going to stay on my property. That's it. He lets me hunt his. He's got 52 acres. He lets me hunt it. I hunt part of marathons down there, and then I've got my 30 acres. And then both the neighbors across from me, they've got 40 acres total between the 3 of them. They hunt, and then the guys to the south of me have 385 acres they hunt. So we're all sharing the same deer. So 2023, he was a buddy of mine. Now he's just an acquaintance for some stupid things that happened. He had never killed a whitetail before, so I let him hunt at my place. I'm like, here, just come up here and hunt. I can get you on deer. I can't guarantee I'll get you on a record book deer, but I'll get you on some deer. And I did. Yeah. I mean, he never saw the one he wanted, so he didn't pull the trigger. He didn't shoot his first deer until we got to Missouri, and he killed a buck out there. He killed a little basket 8. But man, I passed a lot of doe, a lot of small bucks. I did have one wall hanger come in front of me in Missouri, and I had a malfunction on my muzzleloader. I could not get the hammer to cock back. Couldn't figure out why it would not cock back. So that deer was 10 yards from me, and had no idea I was in the area. I hadn't even been in the stand 10 minutes. I had just got my climber locked in and just got my muzzleloader in my hand. I had just pulled it up. My pack was still on the ground. Luckily, I had a primer in my pocket, so I heard him threw it in, but I couldn't get the hammer to cock back, so he made it out. But that was really the only 2023. That was the only shooter I had walk in front of me. That was it. Was that one? That's it. It was a strange year for me. I probably passed on 100 doe easily, 100 doe and small bucks. Just let them go. But that was the only shooter walked in front of me.
This is Aaron, and I want to take a quick break from the podcast to talk to you about our first ever partner of the Prayin and Slayin Podcast, an official partner of Like the Fire Outdoors, Dead Nuts Outdoors. These guys allow you to take your range and practice experience to the next level with their ultra high definition, life-size 2D targets. That's right, I said 2D. This technology is super cool because you no longer have to worry about bulky, weather-beaten, 3D, super heavy targets for your backyard. And for me personally, being a military family, this is super important. We're actually just gearing up to move to our next duty station here, and I get to fold my entire backyard range, which is a bighorn sheep, full-size grizzly bear, full-size elk, mule deer, pronghorn, and whitetail. All of these targets will fold up into just a few inches of space and weigh like just a couple pounds all together. That's super cool. And they also just introduced their Vital X technology, which actually gives you guys an inside look at the real 3D anatomy of each individual target. Whether you're shooting a black bear versus an elk versus a whitetail, you just simply scan the target. It shows you a 3D real anatomy image of what's going on inside that target, so you can just get educated on why each shot is important and where that arrow or bullet that you hit, what it's actually doing inside as it affects that animal. Guys, if you want to check out more, go to www.prayin www.deadnutsoutdoors.com. We are so proud to be partnered with these guys and taking their business to the next level. And please check them out again, www.deadnutsoutdoors.com. All right, now let's get back to the episode. Wow. And then
last year,
you got your 2023 is when you also saw this guy show up for the first time on camera. Okay.
Yeah, I saw him. So I saw him in person first.
Okay.
Like I told you, it's hard to hunt my property because number one, the real main flat area that I have, who's calling me? The one flat area I have on my property is right here at the top of the hill where my house is. I've got a 7-acre field that's my yard. All my property is downhill until you get to the very bottom. There's like one little flat area, and then it goes up the hill to the next property. So it's hard to hunt down there where I put my food plots because you bump them up. 2023, I thought now, I learned I didn't, but I thought I had my cell cams set up in strategic areas where I could monitor where the deer were moving and I could get in and out without getting busted. Well, I didn't at all. I had a cell cam right here behind my house. There's a logging road, and it pretty much circles all the way around my house over here out to the road. The deer travel that road. They travel that logging road all the time. I had a camera at the very end of the road down here kind of beside my house.
Mm-hmm.
I checked the camera that morning. No deer were in front of it. Okay, I'm good to go. What I didn't account for was deer behind the camera.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Here I go. I put my climber on my back. I got my crossbow at the times. It was still bow season. I get in the edge of the woods and I start to go down this big old hill and I see 2 white tails go up. As the second tail goes up, I see a big wide set of horns. I was like, oh man, what'd I just do? They take off. I mean, running. By the time I got fully in the woods, they were 3 counties away. So now I'm standing there. I have a decision to make. I'm scratching my head too, thinking, okay, do I go ahead and hunt or do I just pack it up and go home? Now, they didn't blow at all. They just took off running. No, I'm going to go ahead and go down here and sit. I've got a food plot at the very bottom. I didn't have the food plot on the gas line yet, but I had the one at the very bottom of the hill. I'm going to sit down there. I'm getting deer in there like crazy all day long. I'm going to go sit there for a while. So I use my way down the hill. I get on that logging road, and that logging road branches off and it goes down to the gas line. You cross over the gas line, it goes all the way down the very bottom of the hill. I cut it out for a reason. So I can sneak through the woods. I can drive my tractor through the woods, whatever I need to do, but I have a path to stay on so I don't make a whole lot of noise. I get to the edge of the woods in the gas line. I take one step out and look to my left, and the next hillside over, there's that buck. Now I call goalpost, looking straight at me. Huh. I had never seen a buck that wide live on the hook before.
Mm-hmm.
Now, 2 thoughts go through my head. Number one, do I just aim up and just shoot over that way? I mean, it's 100 yards. Do I do it? No, it's not ethical. I'm not doing that. Yeah, exactly. Send it. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to wound this deer or even miss and scare him off. Now he never comes back. I knelt down, my stand on my back, everything. I just knelt down and watched him. He walked off, and where he was at, the gas line intersects a light line. So he's standing in the middle of that. So I just take note, okay, I will get a camera and a stand and a food plot right over there. That'll be my next mission. Now, did that happen? No, I didn't, but I made a note of it. I was going to.
Yeah.
Now, I went ahead down over the hill. I hunted. I saw a few shooter bucks that morning chasing does. The rut had kicked in. That was on a Wednesday because the very next day, me and Craig were leaving to go to Illinois because Illinois' first gun season is only 3 days. It's always that Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay. We always go over on Thursday to get everything set up, and then we start hunting Friday. So Thursday morning, I got up, packed up my truck, picked him up. We headed out. I didn't know at the time, but that buck had been here behind my house for days chasing doe around. I didn't know. That video I sent you, I had 3 other videos of him besides the one I sent you of him down there different days, running around daylight and dark.
He was staged up on your property checking does in that area. Okay.
Yes. And the crazy thing is on 30 acres, I have 7 cameras running. Mm-hmm. I never got him on another camera besides that one. It's the only one I ever got him on.
Wow.
I don't know how he did it, but he got by all my cameras and got on that one. So now, fast forward to February, I traveled a lot in 2023 hunting. I mean, I was in Kentucky, I hunted Illinois, I hunted Missouri, and I hunted Indiana. So I hunted those 4 states. Well, season's out. Season goes out here, I think like January 5th or 6th. I didn't hunt the last like 2 weeks of season. After Christmas was over, I didn't really hunt anymore. I kind of hung it up. I was wore out because I was gone all the time hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went down and started pulling cameras out. I found a camera I forgot I even had down here on the gas line. There was a scrape there I'd found the year before and put a camera over. I forgot I had it. I pull it and bring it home. 19 different bucks on this camera. I got my very first buck with a drop time on that camera.
Oh, cool.
Now, drop time was only probably 4 inches long, but I didn't care. It's drop time.
The drop time, man. Heck yeah.
And I had that 6-point on that camera.
Okay.
He had showed up there one time, one picture. That was it. No video, just had it on picture mode. I got him walking by it, going towards the logging road to get back by my house.
Okay.
Now that was it. No other pictures of him anywhere. So I'm like, okay, he's not really staying on my place very much. So the chances of me killing this deer are probably slim to none. Fast forward 2024. I found some videos on my phone. I deleted them a while ago, but I actually did a couple of videos for Pure Whitetail.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working with their pro staff, for the last couple of years. I like their products. Their products work for me. So I did a couple of videos that I'd put on their Facebook page. And one of them, I even said it, and I felt this way all last year. I felt like I had failed myself as a hunter. I failed myself because I didn't put any time into my property last year. All summer I was gone. I was in Montana, so I didn't do any work here at all. I didn't cut shooting lanes, didn't hang stands. When I got back, the end of June, beginning of July, I came back early because my boys had football camp going on and weights and stuff. I started working then, but I knew I had a lot of stuff to do and I wasn't going to get it done. I put in 3 food plots. They didn't really grow very well. I hung 1 new stand and I moved a few cameras around at different locations. I didn't get him on a single cell cam. Not a one. I had 4 cell cameras on my property. Didn't get him on a single one. Now the camera down here at the logging road, I got him in there again, but I didn't know it. I didn't check it.
Right.
Hunting season rolls around. I had hung a 2-man ladder stand for me and my boys. I'm getting them into using a tree stand a little bit more this year. And I want them to feel comfortable. So I need to feel safe too. So I want them to hunt with me. Yeah. I hung a stand for them and I put about a half-acre food plot in for them. Now behind the food plot, I have probably 10 white oaks. So acorns this past year were amazing. So deer were tearing the white oaks up.
Mm-hmm.
We went down and hunted a couple times, and one set with my oldest, me and him set one night. We had 16 deer come around, had 5 bucks come in. He never could get situated in the stand to get a shot, so he never got a shot at one. The very next day, me and my son go out, my youngest, Uriah, we go out, and I think we saw 9 with 3 bucks. And I actually it was second week of October. I used a bleed call and called a buck right to the base of the stand, but he couldn't get stood up and get anchored down enough to get a shot. So we hunted a few more times after that and just never could get him on a deer. So I was getting kind of frustrated. I wasn't hunting for myself. I only hunted once that year for me. So Sunday morning we get up, we go to church, we get home and it's cool outside. It's not cold, but it's cool. Told the boys, said, "Hey, let's go get in the stand." Nah, Dad, I got a Fortnite tournament. I'm going to play Fortnite. Both of them said the same thing. I was like, man, you guys are crazy. Today is a perfect day to get out. I said, the pressures are high. It's cool. The deer are going to be moving all day. Mm-hmm. I said, we should get in the stand. I said, but if you guys don't want to go, I'm going. I'm hitting the stand. So I go down there, climb in that 2-man stand. I get everything set up. I'm sitting there and I hear something moving behind me. I look down the ridge, down the bottom down there where the first food plot is, or the middle food plot, and there's 2 doe coming up the ridge. Okay, cool, I let him walk up. Now the first one, she comes up. She's a little younger. She's probably 2.5, maybe. The older doe stayed in the back, like they always do. They always stay in the back to survey. The young doe goes out in the food plot. The older doe comes up right next to me. Now, she was close enough I could spit out the stand and hit her. She beds down.
Nice.
Now, I'm not one of these guys that I have to buy every new device that comes out because I know it's going to work, and I don't do that. But I will say, I bought an Ozonics.
Mm-hmm.
That thing works.
Yeah.
Because she was downwind of me for probably an hour bedded down and never one time picked me up and busted it out. Not once.
That's impressive.
Yes. And I was very impressed, which I mean, I've had it for this hunting season was my third, and it's done amazing. I've had a lot of deer coming downwind and never pick me up. Even big mature bucks never pick me up. That thing is amazing. Now, I made the number one cardinal rule. I made the mistake you never do. I decided, hey, there's 2 deer here. I'm kind of getting bored. Now, I'd heard grunts to my left earlier in the day, but it's so thick you can't see. Never heard them again. Heard a couple grunts. That was it. Nothing ever again. I get on my phone. I'm scrolling through Facebook, looking around, seeing what's new, and I hear this thump. I look up from my phone. There's a doe standing in the food plot straight in front of me. Wasn't the same young one because the young one's still eating. She's a new one. She's older, and she's got me dead to rights, just staring at me. Now the one, after she stomps again. Well, the one bedded to me stands up. So I'm thinking, okay, this hunt's over. It's over. Yeah. Now where I'm hunting at, I'm about 10 yards off the gas line in the woods, and I'm on a hillside. There's this huge tree in front of me. So to my about 11 o'clock, I can't see very well over here. I got to kind of lean out either way to see around the tree. I can see there's more deer coming from that way, but they're doe, and they're working their way up. They're not going to the food plot. They're going to the edge of the woods to the acorns. I'm cool with that. I don't need too many doe around me because I don't want to get busted. But the one in front of me, she's locked on me. She's not moving. She's not blowing, but she's stomping. So she's already saw me. I just slowly pull my hand down, put my phone in my pocket right here on my chest. This is where it gets fun. I rotate my crossbow out, and I've got it aimed straight at her. I reach up and flip the safety off, and I'm looking through the scope from way back here, getting the crosshairs evened up on her. As soon as I see her even start to breathe in to blow, I'm deflating her lungs in a heartbeat. I'm not giving her the chance to blow. Well, she stands there for a minute. She keeps stomping, but she kind of like relaxed all of a sudden, and she's like looking past me down the hill. I was like, okay, she's not focused on me anymore. All right, that's good. She kind of calms down. She starts eating the food plot a little bit, and she kind of angles up. She had took about 3 steps, and I heard the one sound all hunters love to hear, and you know the difference between a mature buck and a young buck. That deep growl of a grunt come out. I look over and all I see is this big fork right here on the side facing me. I was like, that's a pretty good fork. Huh? Okay. Yeah. Didn't realize who it was at the time. Now, the video I sent you, he was a 6-point. This year, he grew an extra point. He's a 7 now.
Okay.
He works his way up along the edge of the gas line and gets behind that big tree right there. So I stand up because I want to get a good look around and see if it's that same deer. As I stand up and come out around that tree, I've got the crossbow on my shoulder coming up. Now, I'm not looking through the scope yet. I'm looking down the crossbow at him. He turns and looks me dead in the face. When I saw that, I was like, oh, my God, that's a field goal right there. That's goalpost. I'm shooting that deer. Man, I saw the crosshairs on his shoulder. Poof, I let it eat. As soon as I shot this deer, the doe, they had no idea what happened. They're all just kind of standing looking around. Well, he takes off running. I never heard him crash. So now I'm questioning, did I just miss him? I mean, it's only 32 yards. Did I miss?
Yeah.
Well, as I'm looking over here towards where he run, I don't see him anywhere. I don't hear him running. I don't hear anything. I was like, huh. I look to my left because I hear something. I look down. There's a big 10-point standing there looking at me. Not 20 yards from me, just standing there looking at me. He turns and walks off. He goes right up to where that buck was standing. Just stands up there. I was like, huh.
No kidding.
See, the boys should have came. If my kids would have come, they would have easily got a shot at one.
Yep.
Well, I'm excited at this point, and I call my wife. I let her know. She's like, which one was it? I said, I think it's that big 6 that I saw last year. She's like, really? I said, yeah, I think so. I believe it was. I'm all excited at this point, but I don't realize exactly how big he is. Well, I found out why I didn't hear him crash. He didn't crash. He never hit the ground. When he died standing up. He went to fall over, but there's this huge briar bush behind him. He fell into that, and it was holding him up.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, he never hit the ground. This briar bush, it was huge. I had to take my tractor with my bucket and like push through it to get to him because there's no way I could drag him up the hill. This deer was over 200 pounds. I couldn't drag him. But yeah, that was holding him up. And I called Craig then. I was like, hey, man, I just shot one. He was at work. No, you didn't. I said, yeah, man, I think I shot goalpost. He goes, nuh-uh. I think so. I said, I think it's him. I was like, but I didn't hear him crash. I'm talking to him. I didn't even follow the blood trail. I got up on the gas or on the logging road and followed it around and was walking that way towards where he ran. And I saw him standing there. I was like, dude, I think he's still alive.
Right.
He's like, I think he's alive. Yeah, I don't think he's dead. He's just standing there. He's like, is he bleeding? I said, well, I don't see anything coming out, but I knew the bolt passed all the way through him. I knew it didn't stay in him.
Yeah.
I was like, he's not moving though. I mean, he wouldn't. I didn't see his ears moving, tail wasn't moving. He wasn't looking at me. No, he was just standing there facing straight ahead. I was like, I don't know what's going on, man. I said, well, something ain't right. He's like, did you bring your crossbow? I was like, no, I left it by the stand. I said, maybe I should go back and get it. He's like, I don't know, man. I said, I see an exit wound on his side, so I know I made a good hit. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Long story short, I get up there and I kind of came around all the way to the front of him and come in. I see him laying on those. I was like, oh, he's dead. He's good.
That's crazy. Dead on his feet. I've never heard that before.
I'd never seen that before. Nothing like that. Like I said, last year was a strange season for me. It was weird in multiple ways. But yeah, I got up there to him, man. I was like, man, he's a big boy. It took me and my two boys an hour to get him in the bucket of the tractor. He was so big.
Jeez, no kidding.
Hour, yeah. And then I got him up here, and I didn't realize how big he was. I mean, I knew he was wide, but it's just in my mind, I kept playing. It's a 7-point. It's just a 7-point buck. Well, I took a couple pictures that night. I sent it to a few friends of mine. Now I had a picture of him in 2024 walking in front of that camera. So I had a camera on that gas line, not 20 yards from me. I had one picture of him on that camera, and that was it. Now the camera I had on the logging road, I didn't know I had a lot of pictures and videos on that camera. I didn't know it yet because I hadn't checked it. But a buddy of mine, I'd sent him a picture of that buck, and it was from the side. So all you got was one side of the rack. I asked another good friend of mine I grew up hunting with, I was like, would you shoot that deer? He's like, no. After I shot him, I sent him a picture. He goes, oh, yeah, I just shot that deer 10 times over. Okay. Well, I dropped it off the processor that night. I have a 24-hour drop-off during bow season. I dropped him off to get him processed because I had a few trips coming up. I didn't have time to do it myself, so I just thought, well, I'll drop it off, let them do it, and they can cape it out for me. So I told Becky, I said, I think I'm going to get it mounted. I'd never shot a deer that wide before. My widest one was 19 and a half inches. Mm-hmm. This one measured out. This one was 25 and a half.
That's crazy. That's like mule deer wide. I mean, like wide mule deer level. Yeah. That's crazy.
Exactly. You don't see that a lot of times in whitetail. You don't see a lot of them at 25, 26 inches. Yeah. So I dropped him off. Well, I go back to pick up the mount pick up the cape the next day. And the lady goes, oh, that's your deer in the back? I said, yes. She goes, that's the biggest one we've had come in so far. Now, this is October 28th. Yeah. I was like, that's the biggest one you've had come in? She goes, yeah. She goes, I hope you don't mind, but I called a friend of mine. He's an official scorer. You should get that deer scored. I was like, what? She goes, honey, you don't realize what you've killed yet. She's like, you really don't. You've killed a big buck. I was like, it's just a 7-point. She goes, that's not the point.
Yeah.
It's how wide he is. And he carries mass all the way out. He carries his mass all the way from the bases all the way to the tips. So the scorer, he got a hold of me. He's like, hey, so-and-so told me to call you. I guess you killed a pretty big buck. I was like, well, I mean, he's a 7-point. He's wide. He's like, well, send me a picture. I sent it to him. He goes, yeah, I'm definitely scoring your deer. I'm definitely going to score that deer.
That's awesome.
Okay. So I dropped it off at the taxidermist. She's an old friend of mine. And she called me later that evening. She goes, well, I scored at 132 inches. She goes, that's a green score. I was like, yeah, I know. I got to wait the 60-day drying period. I know that. But she goes, 132 is not bad for a 7-point.
Not bad. Okay. That's giant. Yeah.
Yeah. So my gross official score is 134 and 6/8. My what do they call that? Your
the net.
Yeah, the net score was 128 and I think 4/8.
Because mostly probably because that 7th point. But I mean, and that's the other thing, too, for people listening, like this deer, the video, I'm definitely going to post that in some of the social things leading up to the episode getting launched. But the video of him as a 6-point, you look at me like I've never seen a 6-point that big. And when we were stationed in Virginia, when I was a park ranger out there for a while, like we had there's like a lot of 6-point genetics on that park that we were at. So and you just start to build, like they're just different when they're a 6 and they're big and they're usually wide, like they've got that factor going on. But I don't think I've seen one that big, not even close. And then but even on his 7th, like we're talking. You keep saying 7-point, but like his frame is a 6-point frame.
Yeah.
But that 7th point just added that little bit of a different factor to him. But I mean, you're essentially talking about 128 or 130 some inch 6-point deer. Like it's nuts. It's crazy.
And so when we get off here, I'll send you a picture of a buck that a buddy of mine, the guy from Indy, he killed out here. It was killed in 2022. It's a 6-point. It was over 300 pounds field dressed. It was so big. Now, Pat's a big guy. Pat's a real big guy. He works for the fire department up in Indy, one of the fire departments up there. He called me. He's like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" I said, "Well, I just got home from town." He goes, "Can you bring your tractor back here to the gas?" I goes, "I killed a deer so big I can't even get it on my 4-wheeler." Now, I've seen Pat pick up some big bucks by himself and load them in his truck. He couldn't get this one loaded.
Wow.
So I drove out there. I pulled up. I was like, "Oh my God." We waited that night after field dress. It was like 305 pounds. That was the biggest deer I've ever seen field dress before. That thing was huge. Now the rack it's amazing. It's a 6-point rack, but it's not wide like mine. It's real tight, but it carries its mass all the way out too. So I found the pictures of it. I'll send the pictures to you when we get off here. You'll never believe it. You're like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, I can't wait to see that guy. That's nuts, dude. The biggest
massive,
deer I ever shot, he was over 300 too. It was, and he's 140 some inch. He's got the super wide thing too. He's a mainframe 10-point. He's got like a 6 or 7 inch drop tine on one side, but that's cool. Biggest, oldest, baddest deer that was in that whole area. And I just happened to be lucky enough to be in the stand when he came by. But yeah, he was a tank too. I mean, my dad and his old business partner, they're both like 6'5", 6'6", and it was everything they could do to help me drag him out. But there's just deer and they're just different when you see them. Like the taxidermist when I took him to him, like I took a picture it was right when the flip phones, and the cameras were kind of coming out or whatever. And I took a picture, and I'm glad I did, because he didn't think his neck was as big as it was. He thought, like, because I froze it and before I took it to him, he thought that maybe like the freezing had made it look bigger than what it was. I'm like, I'm telling you, dude, with my hunting boots on, it sticks out like 3 inches on either side of my heel and my toe of his neck. Like it was just that big of a neck on him. And anyway, they had to like special order the foam mount and things for him or whatever. But anyway, that they can get. And they can get big, they can get giant. That's crazy that a 6-point had that like gigantic body like that. I can't wait to see him.
Oh yeah, it was crazy, man. I was like, wow. And I had pictures of his deer on one of my cameras down here at the bottom. So I bought 3 acres off my Amish neighbor. And it's just, well, it's not all, but most of it's just a big creek bottom. But I bought it for a reason, because where Marathon's creek bottom meets that property, I've been seeing a lot of big bucks running through there, but I never could get close enough. So I bought that property. So I thought if one comes in there, I can call him one of mine. I just, I'll throw a couple of grunts at him, rattle a little bit, a couple of bleats. He'll come over looking. I'll shoot him then. Mm-hmm. But man, I saw that 6-point over there quite a bit on camera, but never saw him live on the hoof. And it was the last day of gun season, 2023. Yeah, 2023. And he shot that buck back there. Man, he was big. I mean, I'd never seen a rack that thick before until I saw that one.
That's awesome, man. And there's something about big, massive bucks too. Those are just cool. Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. Well, congrats on killing Goalpost. It's pretty incredible, and especially that he just showed up out of nowhere like that on you and snuck in behind you. That's even cooler, dude. That's died on his feet. The only deer to never hit the ground, probably. So, that's incredible.
I'd never seen that before. I've seen deer, people shoot them, they do backflips. I've seen them, all deer always do the friggin' rodeo kick, they do all that, but I'd never seen a deer die standing up. That's my first one ever.
Just stop and lean against a bush, call it a day.
Yeah. He was just tired.
That's pretty crazy, man. Well, do you have any words of wisdom for any, obviously you're a 20-year vet. So, number one, thank you for your service and everything that you do.
Thanks.
And the dogs that you serve with, I know maybe cast up a thank you to them as well. But do you have any advice for, any veterans that might be listening, who maybe don't hunt or anything, like why they should get into it, or maybe how effects hunting's had on you since you've left the service?
I would say that any vets nowadays, doesn't matter if you're still in active duty, you're a vet, if you can get out in the woods and hunt, I would go for it. Even if it's just squirrel hunting, rabbit hunting, get out and just give it a try. I've learned that for me, this is the most therapeutic thing I can do for myself. You've experienced it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. When I say you go out there, and you've done it to me before, you've interrupted my hunt, calling me for some Tacticam business and stuff. I should have. Oh yeah, we'll talk about that later.
That's your fault for answering. What are you talking about?
Well, I thought it was important, so I answered like an idiot. But you get out there you get out there where, like you said earlier, the hustle and bustle. You get out there away from the hustle and bustle. It's just you and nature, and it's even if you don't kill anything, just seeing wildlife in its natural habitat, man. You can't beat it, and it's been the most therapeutic thing for me. I go to counseling for PTSD. I do all that stuff there, but hunting to me has been the best. And now I've started fishing more because my youngest loves to fish. That kid would fish 365 days a year if I'd let him. So I'm fishing more now in the summer with him, and it's about the same. I mean, it's just you let go of everything.
Mm-hmm.
You have no stress. It's when you're in nature, it's like the world just kind of slips away. It all just slips away, and you can just focus on, just you and yourself. You don't have to worry about anything else, anybody else. So that's the one thing and I have actually talked to a few vets at the VA down in Evansville. If I see some guys look like they're struggling a little bit, I'll sit down and talk to them a little bit. Just kind of give them an ear to speak to, and just kind of let them get everything off their chest. And, I'll tell them, hey, if you ever want to come up, here's my name, here's my number, give me a call. I'll have you up to the house. You can come up to our place. I'll take you out hunting if you want. Or if you don't want to hunt, we'll go fishing. We'll go sit in nature and just enjoy it. Just get away from the stress of everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, to me, there's nothing that can beat it. That's just my opinion, but to me, nothing beats it.
No, there's definitely something to it, man. It's, it's the closest place I think you can get to just, like it's just you, and then it's quiet, and the sounds are there, or anything to, pull your mind in any direction. You can kind of let your mind just do what it needs to do. And I think with, the veteran community side, and anybody that's got, crazy amount of stress, which we all do as humans in 2024, but veterans, especially with all the extra crazy that they experience, or, the war zones and everything else, like when you can just let that box that everything sits in just sit with the lid open for just a little bit and just let it roll. Like, and that's the hardest thing to find time to do, because you're always trying to put it on a front for this reason or that reason, or man up, or all the things. Like, there's not a lot of times you get to just like let that box breathe a little bit. And I think being outdoors, I would absolutely agree with everything you said. Just it's like the one place that you can unlock that box and just let it hang out for a little bit, and just give it time to breathe, which is what we all need to do. So that's fantastic, man. Well, dude, I can't thank you enough. Number one, for putting up with me as long as you have. Happy to call you a friend, man. Proud to call you a friend. And just again, thank you for your service, for your 20 years. And again, all the dogs you got to serve with, thank them as well. And thank you for coming on and sharing your story of Goalpost. Like, by far one of the coolest deer. Like I said, I've got a weird thing for those just niche bucks, and a big 6 is one of those type of niche deer that you just can't find. And that's super awesome, man. So everybody listening, I'm definitely gonna be posting some pictures, like I said, leading up to the launch of this episode, some teasers, so you guys will get to see that. Justin, any pictures you got or videos you dig up of that guy, man, send them over. We'll make sure they're posted out there, and we'll try to make sure your big, burly, beautiful beard is included in those pictures as well. So.
Oh yeah, gotta have that out there. I mean,
heck yeah, man.
It's just like Justin Timberlake said, bringing sexy back.
Hey, dude. I mean, the definition of it, it's amazing.
I thought so. Especially the bald spot. Hey,
that goes with it. Yeah. Hey, you lose it up top, you grow it on your chin. It's okay.
Exactly. Exactly. Sometimes on my back, maybe my butt cheeks. I don't know, whatever.
Well, hey, now we're getting outside the PG range. So with that, folks, no, man. Well, thank you again, dude. As always, brother, it's been a pleasure and an honor, and we look forward to having you on another one.
All right. Look forward to it, man.
All right, brother, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Talk to you later, man.
See ya.
See ya.
Well, thank you everybody again for listening to part 2 of Operation Hunt Goalpost with Justin Wilson. Every time I get to talk with Justin, it's always a great time. We love giving each other a little crap back and forth. It's what makes being in the military fun and part of an exclusive brotherhood, man. So we love doing that. And just here enjoy Justin's story of Goalpost. I love how much effort and time he put into his new property in Indiana, and ultimately got to reap the fruits of that labor that he's put in with his tree stands and his food plots and everything else that just keeps those deer hanging out there, during the year. And it really reminds me of the parable of the 3 servants, where essentially a master gave 3 different bags of silver to different servants and said, hey, go out and make more money with it, basically. And the story comes down to the last one who had the single bag, and he didn't do anything with it. He held it because he was afraid to lose it, and at the end of the day he reaps no benefit, where the other guys, they went out and they sowed the money that they were given and invested it, and it grew. And I just relate that a lot to what Justin had to say here with the time and effort and energy he puts in there to make a spot for his family and his kids to hunt, and then obviously being able to reap an awesome deer off that property because of the labors and efforts that he took in with what he had, and to improve it for the better for generations to come. So with that, guys, be sure to go check out www.lightthefireoutdoors.com. Prayin and Slayin is the official podcast for Light the Fire Outdoors, and you can find all things Prayin and Slayin and Light the Fire Outdoors there. And thank you again to Dead Nuts for being a partner in this episode. deadnutsoutdoors.com. Go check out those guys. They've got some awesome 2D targets. Got the little guy, our little 3-year-old now out there shooting them. Got some fun videos coming for you guys on that on our social medias as well. So thanks again for listening, everybody, and tune into the next episode. And as always, keep praying and slaying.